some people, I don't know what you're here for. Did they really make a panel about Tokyo Ghoul and they only put me in it?
Well, no, there are three others. Yeah.
Who are the other three?
Todd Haberkorn.
Josh Reilly.
Alright, well, good luck with this. No, I'm kidding. They're both normal people. Yeah. Just want to sound funny.
Is this where the Tokyo Ghoul panel is occurring?
I think so. I'm not totally sure, but I'm 99% sure that this is where we're supposed to be.
Do you want to hang out here, or do you want to keep looking, Scott?
It might not get better than this. I'm gonna warn you right now.
I mean, I just think people.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
I agree. I bought these glasses recently, but
I feel that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These
I
glasses.
feel
These glasses.
Dealing with that.
Okay, thank you.
If you hold it down further, like far enough, make yourself look like an old grandma, it works.
Yeah.
Was it then you had the problem of it slipping off? That's why I had.
I
Yeah, but
literally
see, I have
finally got
mine are
laser
rubber,
eye
so
surgery
it catches
because of
on
that.
Did you have to stare into a laser?
Yeah, they like lay you down on a table and you move from laser to laser and they like.
Oh God! You can't. Okay, I was like, did they give you anesthetic? But that would mean like stabbing you in the eye.
They give you Valium. You like take a pill.
Are you allowed to show up drunk?
Huh?
Probably
I don't know.
not, because that impairs your ability to.
It like
look where you're supposed
dilates
to
the
look.
cornea, like the eyes and stuff.
Valium. What if you already have a tolerance to Valium? Do they give you more Valium?
And then more about.
Oh, Valium. Until you have all.
We're just waiting on three others.
Three?
Three.
Who is Todd?
Josh and Eric.
Eric? Okay, oh my goodness.
Air filter.
I'm sorry for making you on time. I'll never let it happen again.
Do you know how lame this makes me look?
That
Be
you're
the first actor
professional
to show up for a panel?
because you're
Like I
professional.
care about the fans or something? You know how lame that makes me look? You did this!
I appreciate it.
Oh,
no.
I felt that.
It's okay. They're still together. They're plastic.
Like my
We're good.
parents.
It's okay to be the
I'm
teacher's
kidding,
pet
you're not
sometimes.
Sorry.
I've been
Okay.
fired. Didn't even do anything.
It's true. Of all the people, I did not expect you to be the first one to show up. How disappointing.
Thank you, Dan.
So, Todd apparently
Hey.
is signing a couple of extra things and he'll be right up.
He was really late.
Well, you know what? You can't make people like that come on time sometimes.
Yeah.
Do their own
Yeah,
Can't control.
that's right. My girlfriend was really late. What do you expect me to do about that? Nothing. We just keep doing the show.
You're good.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm glad that only heard on the front row.
that was interesting.
True.
Hi, I came in with a dark attitude today, guys, because it's a Tokyo Ghoul panel.
It's actually why I'm going on a strike. Right now? That's right.
Okay.
No one has access to this until there's more equality.
Has access to what?
All of this.
Oh, you mean your smoking body?
My smoking body. You think you're gonna get down on this? Not until we change what's going on. That's right. Cut
I
you
don't
off.
think you're going to have any
Cut your
takers.
roll off.
I don't think you're giving it big enough.
That's right. I'm not gonna take it. It's gonna be like, nope. Not until there's more equality.
I just can't get on board with this. I really can't. Okay, so hi,
Hello.
ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Vale.
And this is the Tokyo Ghoul panel. If this is not the panel you wanted to be here for, I'm sorry. You're stuck with these people for now.
But if you are here for the Black Clover panel, I'm also in that show.
Me too.
See? So same deal.
I play the naked guy.
Yeah, and I play a guy with clothes.
What do you want to do? Yeah, no, nothing. I'm assuming y'all have questions, or not, or y'all just want to hear us riff on things for an hour.
That's fine.
I was expecting to scream out party, but that seems very irresponsible.
To scream out the word party?
Well, I don't think it would incite any action.
That's true. It's early in the day for me.
It's a blood sugar thing, really.
Yeah, really, I could use another sandwich.
Yeah.
There's a good sandwich. We had good sandwiches
We
earlier.
had sandwiches together. We ate the same sandwich, and then we kissed in the middle, like that movie with the dogs. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like Pac-Manning the sandwich all the way down.
Lady in the Tramp.
Lady, the Fox, and the Drake, and the Hound.
Fox and the Tramp.
Fox and the Hound and the Drake.
Crossover special.
Fox and the Tramp. It was a reboot in the 90s. It was straight to DVD. Eddie Murphy. And then he didn't see it.
Yeah, that's true. It was his last film career.
It was pre-Pluto Nash.
Okay, so this panel's gone off the rails. Clearly. Now, I'm assuming y'all are Tokyo Ghoul fans. Who is Tokyo Ghoul fan? Right. Who came to this panel not because of that show, but just because you wanted to talk to or one of us or wanted to see what we had to say? Sorta, okay.
Who's here for Todd?
Yeah, who's here for Todd?
Don't lie.
Who's here for Josh? Who's here for Austin? And who's here for Eric? So I think I like that. Which is funny, there's a lot of people who didn't raise their hands.
They just want something to do.
There's how many people are hiding from the police right now?
There we go.
Just in here because there was
You did not get the option of everyone because we are actors and competitive by nature, and you have to love either one of us or the other. That is just how this business works.
Oh, right. Who's here for?
Right.
Who's just going for all of it.
Yeah.
So, who has a specific question about the show that they?
Okay, great. Let's do this.
Okay, yeah, so I watched the live action film, really good, and I don't realize that you guys did the dub for the live action. Did that feel weird or that feel different or similar to dubbing the anime?
I hate it. It's so much worse. I think it's so much worse. I hate it.
I like the movie.
Part of the reason is your voices in an anime. At least all the voices are recorded in a studio. When you're doing a live action, they have sound that's local to that specific scene, and then even if you perfectly mimic the flaps somehow with a different language, human flaps, it sounds great. It still is a studio, and it's not like. I mean, and then they can add stuff to make it sound like a hallway, but it's not location sound.
Yeah, I'm with Austin.
See? Told you.
It's the same kind of thing. You're basically dubbing something.
Right.
One of them's animated, one of them's live action. Live action is a lot harder to dub because, again, I'll put it to you like this. If you see animation happening, the reason we can dub anime into another language or any language in the world really is because animation is animation. You know, nobody's making mouths move specifically to a language because you're drawing it, you got to get something done, right? Mm-hmm. But when somebody speaks Japanese, Mandarin, Greek, their mouths move according to the specificity of that language, which makes it a lot harder and a lot more detailed and nuanced, and you just can't hit it the way that you can, like if you're recording animation. At least that's been my experience. So I don't like it as much as anime.
Okay.
Yes.
How much of the dub has to be changed to kind of keep it on the same pacing? Because like the languages are different. So like, do they change the words a lot in English to make it kind of stick up time-wise more than with the animation?
So it's a constantly moving target. Every script that we get for every anime is either perfectly timed out, overwritten, or underwritten. Those are kind of the three options that you have. And everything depends on one person or a couple people's specific ideas of what it should look like, right? And as an actor, you just kind of have to follow the lead, which does mean that every session that you're in when you're recording ends up being a little bit of a kind of feel your way through it. You're like, oh, Eric, you recorded it, sounds good, but we have like one too many words, so let's cut this word out. Or, oh, Eric, you're talking so fast, it's coming in short, we need to add 3 or 4 words. And so you always are kind of moving around like being on a boat, you know. Yeah, Austin wants to say that I'm right about this.
I
Right,
agree.
I'm totally correct. You're right.
Sorry, I just got a text from my mom. She was supposed to come to my house while I was gone.
Is she there?
She says that she's gonna wait till tomorrow morning because of the traffic, but I have an air conditioning guy coming Saturday morning. So it's like,
I know. My mother-in-law has to take my daughter to her jump class today. I'm nervous about that.
yeah, you jump.
Yeah, teach people how to jump. No, I'm kidding. Jump Street. You know what Jump Street is? It's like a trampoline bounce house parlor where kids go and freak out. And if you're me, it's where you go and rip your ACL, so you have to have surgery.
On my 13th birthday, we went to Pandemonium because I loved Pandemonium. It was this,
I remember Pandemonium.
You remember Pandemonium?
Yeah.
Okay. So at one point,
Thank you, by the way.
At one point they got sued or something, and like on my birthday, they instilled this new rule, which is like no running. No running in Pandemonium.
Yeah. No running in a place called Pandemonium.
And they had a bunch of people, they had a bunch of adults standing by, and they would be like at the corners of hallways, be like, no, you can't do that, don't run.
When I was at this was
Really ruined my childhood.
5 years ago now. I was at the Altitude, which is a indoor trampoline park with a bunch of other stuff, and I was bouncing from platform to trampoline to platform to trampoline, following my nephew. And then when I landed on one of the platforms, my left foot halfway landed, and I put all my weight on it, and my knee went backwards. Ooh. And there was this sound like somebody popping open a champagne bottle, and then this blinding, screaming pain in my leg. And there's a dude working there who's standing on the platform.
What?
And he goes, dude, you just tore your ACL.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. Are you sure? And he's like, oh yeah, it happens here every day. I'm like, dude, you can't run a business where you're hurting people dramatically every day. You're not the tobacco industry.
What's wrong, dude?
That's why you sign a waiver now.
I know!
Yeah, I used to work at a trampoline park. So
Right?
I know.
So I just had to send that waiver over to my mother-in-law, and she's like, why do I have to sign a waiver? And I'm like, it's no reason. You just have to. It has nothing to do with catastrophic injury. All right, so anyway, I'm going off the rails real fast. You can tell where we are. Okay, so, mentally, we all know where we are, right?
Yes.
In the Black Clover panel.
Welcome to the Black Clover panel.
How do you like your Black Clover character?
He's naked.
Nice.
That's all I know. I did see a question.
Nice.
Yes.
What was your favorite memory from working with everyone in Tokyo Ghoul?
Oh, no.
Well, that's the fun thing about it.
Yeah, go ahead. You do.
You don't. You're not over with any of them, except the director.
Thank you.
It's not poison. It's okay.
No, I'm enjoying.
Sounded ominous.
It's not poisoned.
The most you get is to hang out with them occasionally at conventions well after the things happen, but like we always do it alone in a dark room.
Wondering where our family does.
Do you have any favorite memories working with yourself? Like,
Oh yeah.
Honestly, here's the thing. Austin and I both do a fair amount of work up at Funimation, and when we would be recording these things in the studio, you'd go into work at 10 in the morning, and you might be there until noon, you might be there until 6. And let's say if you're going in from 10 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, and you're working on 4 different shows, you're in this room for an hour, then in this room for an hour, and then in this room for 2 hours, and then in this room for 3 hours, and so on and so forth. And you're working on 4 different shows or 5 different shows. And when you're recording anime, you're only recording your character in your scenes, and most of the time you can only hear your voice. So it's kind of like acting in a vacuum, and you're doing it so quickly that it's hard to remember anything about those moments on recording that show, and everything sort of starts to blend together a little bit. You know, it's not the case all the time, but at the time when we were in studio a lot, it was real intense, really.
And before you know it, the years slip away. You're the same person you were before, but just older.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
Staler.
That's true too.
Just repeating the same stories over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin
Austin,
Tindle's having an existential crisis.
yeah, I was just about to ask, are you okay?
That's the name of my new podcast. Holy shit.
Austin Tindle's existential crisis.
Yeah.
Can I be on it? Hey, can I host the podcast and you just come on as a guest star every once in a while? But we're constantly talking about you.
Just talking about me. Oh my god, my dreams are coming to fruition. Yes. All I've ever wanted is a podcast where people just talk about me and I don't even have to do it.
I had a dream last night that I was Bruce Willis's stand-in in a movie. And he pushed me out of a plane because he didn't want to do it.
That's a crazy story.
I don't know why I brought that up.
Anyone would ever think that.
I don't know why.
Except for the fact that might happen in reality.
Bruce Campbell did that to me one time in real life. For real. I was Bruce Campbell's stand-in in a movie. For real. I told you about that with the motorcycle.
Yes, you did.
And they were having this.
He was like, you take care of this one.
Yeah. We're sitting next to each other we're in this arena, and they're about to do this stunt where he has to run under, it's like they're doing like a motocross, and he runs across where the motorcycles are circling the dirt. And the motorcycles jump these ramps, and he's supposed to run under where the motorcycles are jumping up and act all freaked out. And so they're like, all right, let's give it a test run. And Bruce Campbell looks at me and he goes, Eric, you do this. I don't want to. Okay, so I got up and ran under the motorcycles, and then he was like, okay, I feel better. That looks safe. He did that to me a lot on that set. He is a very fun guy. Yeah. All right, well, in the back.
Which one do you think is like most similar?
Out of all.
All characters.
All of them. Okay.
The one that's most like me is one of those bit parts that his entire life in the universe is going, oh, you see it? What was that? Oh, I got his boyfriend.
Mine would be America and Italia. That's the most. I'm actually that person in real life. I really think so. I'm loud. I'm obnoxious. I ruin friendships. I eat a ton of cheeseburgers.
And he does, I've seen it.
Yeah, he has. I make them now at home with chopped up bacon in them. Because why would you not?
Why would you?
Why would you have a burger with not chopped bacon in it? Thank you. That was my TED talk.
Yeah, there it is. I was thinking
Yes.
Do you guys do anything to get into like the mindset of specific characters, or because you're doing like character after character after character, and one day it's kind of more like academic or mechanical?
I like to hurt like smaller animals, you know? Ones that can't help it, you know? Like
Ones that can't fight back.
yeah, right, exactly. Right. Small dogs, you know?
Like chipmunks.
Well, chipmunks are those too fast. That's too fast. But like, Turtles. Turtles is great. You should take some trips. Sorry. Where is this going?
You just drop
Okay, so I don't kick animals. I'm sorry. That's just a...
Are you just like drop kicking turtles over your fence or
So
something?
Austin,
Turtles is what's really put me over the edge. That really sounds terrible. Someone kicking a turtle?
yeah, all of a sudden, yeah. Why would you kick a turtle?
If you're Mario.
Okay, the Mario thing makes sense.
You ever seen the skeletal structure of a turtle? And did you know that turtles actually have nerve endings on their shells?
Do
Yeah.
they? That sucks.
They can feel, but it also means that they have a capacity for like pleasure. Like turtles enjoy you scrubbing their shells. Like, ooh.
Oh, it's like petting a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You,
All right, well, that's interesting.
Google videos.
We got so much to tell you guys.
Look at turtles
today.
going.
So, to answer your question, what was your question?
do you guys do anything to get into the mindsets of the specific characters, or is it more like academic because you're
Okay,
doing
so
one after another?
I would say that yes, I certainly do things to get into character for specific characters. If I'm voicing a guy who's like, hey, what's that thing over there doing? And who's gonna ask her out? I don't need to bother. But if I'm playing Shigaraki, I'm at home right now, so y'all know Shigaraki, my hero academia. I played him. And so now at home, I keep a knife in my studio, right here. And it's actually a utility thing that I use, a tool around the house. It's a multi-tool, right? Like a Leatherman. But it's got this quick blade knife. And if I'm working on Shigaraki, the first thing I do is I open it and I leave it right there. And as I'm getting ready for the roll, I'll sit there with it and I'll run my thumb across the blade. And I'll keep it in my hand while I work. For other characters like Son, don't you dare leave me! So, with Sanji, it's a voice, the director told me it's my morning voice, so I record Sanji in the first part of the day without warming up. So there's little tricks here and there for each character, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't hurt small animals. You're monsters, which you...
Yeah.
Yes, you too.
Focusing.
She wins.
Okay.
Okay, this isn't, you think you would win, this is visceral. If you had to fist fight one of your characters, which one would you pick?
One of the small
Yeah,
defenseless ones.
what I would win.
Yeah.
Like close to a small animal.
One of those characters that dies. I'll beat the
Yeah.
crap out of Margot Bach from Attack on Titan. Yeah, there it is. Yes, that's what I want to say. Take it.
Who would I fist fight?
Trunks.
No.
He's a time traveler. He'll come back.
Canada. Yeah, I'd fist fight Canada.
You were a character named America and a character named Canada?
Huh?
Sounds pretty intense.
That's right. All right, so what was your question?
A little bit less hilarious. Just curious, how was being a voice actor during the pandemic been, and kind of how was that transition when everything just went crazy?
Oh, come on, this is a hilarious story.
Okay.
So, this virus shows up, right? This wacky virus. It ruins life on Earth for everybody. And now we have to work alone even more than we were before. It's great. I could stay in my house all the time. It was a year plus there. I didn't get to see anyone or have friends or communicate or have human interaction. And it was just good times. It was fun.
Perfect for Shigaraki.
Yeah, it was. Man, I turned my studio, my office into my studio. And, it wasn't so bad. Everybody who I work with ended up being really jumping on board. Oh, crap.
Hey, how's it going?
Right. So everybody was real cool about helping us get together all the right stuff to get the studios going, and you know, it was hard.
He's looking for kid sister.
So it was hard, but and it still is. It hasn't changed. I still record from home, you know. But the cool thing is that I do get to just be at home with the family, and I don't have to leave as much. I mean, on weekends, like now, I have to leave, obviously, but most of the time I get to spend more time with them, so that's better for me.
We've pried you from your family. We're awful.
No, my wife's here, you know. Just pried me away from my kids, you know, and they don't want to see me anyway.
Maybe.
Sure.
So they were, you pointed at me when you said my wife. My wife. I was an eye-opener in the midst of the pandemic because there were certain periods of time when I found out through the grapevine that huge things were happening. And that's when I realized, like, oh, I haven't left my room or talked to anyone in 10 days, have I? Yeah. So it turns out the pandemic just made everyone closer to my horrible lifestyle choices on a regular basis.
And welcome back to Austin Tindle's Existential Crisis. We've been talking with Austin about everything that's terrible.
Such a good comment.
Okay. All right, who else?
I was talking about me some more.
We'll get there.
What do you think about me?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, what's your question?
My question was, what are some of the most intense scenes you've ever had to record?
Most of the camping ones.
I make that joke all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Because they were intense.
I think he's gonna hit you now.
This is why you're not allowed to leave your box.
Get back in the basement.
Yeah, you were alone in that room for a reason. Oh, God. Yeah. What?
Do you have one?
Yeah, you go.
No, I don't have one. Do you want me to have one?
Have one what?
An idea of what I'm going to say about the most intense thing of whatever.
If you don't have one, I'll think of one.
So you don't have one, but you'll think of one.
I have an answer. Okay, so here's my answer. The most intense thing that I've ever recorded has been this My Villain Academia, the new season. Because I've never had more people tell me to not screw something up in my life. And it's like every day online, somebody's telling me directly, don't screw this up, and using a much more colorful language. And I'm like,
Don't purple this up.
have I screwed it up so far? And everyone's like, oh, you're performing, generally. Okay, look, the internet is just basically a place for people to scream at people. And so a lot of the time people tell me how terrible I am, and I'm used to that. But when the people are telling me to do something correctly that's coming down the line, it seems to me that they're saying that I've done well so far, and there's real big hurdles coming up, and I better clear it. And so I've been real nervous. I've been talking with directors, doing all this research, trying to figure out if I'm going to play the character right or if I'm screwing it up. And that's been like super intense. You know, I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that's how it feels. You know, for me. Are you waving at people out there?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thought they wanted to come in.
Probably.
They didn't.
All right.
Didn't even wave back.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, another loaded question. Out of all the characters you played, which are a few that are your favorite, that you just enjoyed doing the most?
Let's figure out, you know, like, America's fun. I really, really like playing Yuki. That was awesome.
I got a character named Isaac from a show called Elf Live. No one's ever heard of it. And that's one of my favorite things. Also, something I'm very proud of is in Dragon Ball Kai, when there's the tournament arc. Yeah, that's actually a good call. Oh, yes, it's good. During Dragon Ball Kai, the tournament arc, there's one point where like Goten almost beats somebody up, and the other fighters like, chill out, don't be too good. And then the audience members, there's this scene where this guy and his girlfriend in the same panel both have a line of exclamation. And I played both of them. I played the guy and the girl. He's like, oh my god, did you see that? He's like, that was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
When we recorded it, the director was like, we'll see if they don't notice. And they snuck it by and it ended up in distribution.
That's funny. Who else?
Yeah.
So, working from home is all fun and games sometimes, but also, how do you guys deal with the new noise hurdles that you have to go over? Because when you're working in the studio, there's like...
So let's be very clear about one thing. You can work in the most soundproof studio in the world, and you will still hear those damn leaf blowers. So if there's a leaf blower anywhere nearby, you have to stop recording. But I don't know what it's like at your place, but at home, Mondays and Tuesdays seem to be the lawn days in my neighborhood. You know, and it's unpredictable. And also, I have 2 loud dogs and a loud daughter. So, you know, you just try to carve out the time as best you can and be like, oh, this is the moment that, like, I'm going to, you know, like, my wife is like, I'm going to take our daughter over to the in-laws house or grandmother or something. Oh, cool, then I'll work then. I mean, you just got to schedule things a little bit more than you used to be able to. It used to be, hey, be at the studio for these hours, and you would go there for those hours. And now it's the opposite. You're going to schedule those hours at home, so you're going to figure out when the dogs aren't going to be barking and everything.
My weird closet studio, for some reason, continually has random problems with random studios. And it's always a different problem with a different studio, and I'm always, like, trying to figure out what the issue is and moving things around and restapling and buying new this, that, or the other in the hopes that everyone will just be okay. That's my studio.
Oh, also, I was told to tell you all that Todd is sorry he's not here. He's at his table signing, and he came to the table later, so I had my signing finished, and he didn't, and he apologizes to everyone here, personally. But he sent me to do it.
Yeah, and he also said that you guys are just as important as the people that are occupying his time, because even though he's not here with you with his effort or energy, he is here with you in a metaphorical sense. Very vague metaphorical sense. That you can take home with you for free. You don't even have to pay for it.
All right, who else?
Now I got a question. I apologize. It is only for Eric. Only because it's fruits basket.
That's right.
It's a fruits basket question. So how did you feel when they brought fruits basket back? Like, what were your emotions that they were finally going to completely finish the entire show?
I didn't know that they didn't the first time.
Oh.
somebody told me, hey, they're gonna do Fruits Basket again, and I'm like, cool, okay. I mean, I didn't know that I would be brought back to voice the character again. I just heard there was more coming. And then I heard, oh, they're going to tell the full story. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, they didn't tell the full story. Then first time around, I didn't know, you know. So, you know, I was excited to be able to revisit that character because he's a good character. Lots of fun to play. And something different from the other stuff that I usually do. But yeah, I don't follow the manga, so I don't really know. I didn't know that there was so much more to be told in the story. But it ended up being really nice.
I was in the last episode. It's on the epilogue.
Were you?
I played Jerry Jules' great grandson.
Really?
There's like a flash forward of what happens, his lineage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. Interesting fact. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, who else has a question?
He does.
Okay.
For the third time.
For the
Sorry.
third time.
Which of your characters did you feel like you had the most difficulty, like getting a voice down that you liked? Like you had to workshop it the most, kind of, and play around with it to get one that you were satisfied with.
I actually re-recorded the first 3 episodes of Assassination Classroom that I was in. Luckily, it was before we did simuldubbed. So we like found the voice multiple episodes in. And I initially worked with Joel, and then I was actually working with Afi the other day where I was like, what if we did like this instead? And it sounded good, and we had enough time, we had made enough time for ourselves that I was able to go back and just repeat every line, but in this new tone that made a lot more sense and was a lot less lame than what I had initially thought of. But that never happens anymore. It can't.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
I didn't, I mean, I don't know, I think with the Shigaraki character, his development right now is probably the place that I've paid most attention to this sort of thing, because I've been voicing this character for a few years now, and I still feel like he's evolving. You know, so I'm trying to make conscious decisions in conjunction with directorial information to move his voice in a direction that makes sense. You know, just because I'm really scared of everyone online telling me that I'm gonna screw it up. They keep me up at night and I freak out. You know, all this drama. I'm kidding. I don't really care. Just so you know. Boy, it's hard. This mask keeps the jokes from landing.
Well, we thought you were having an existential crisis there.
Well, if you would have seen my face.
Welcome to Eric Vale's existential crisis. That'll be part of my show about my existence. Is I'll come on and try to project emotionally at you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. We have something here.
All right.
Would you guys subscribe to this TikTok?
Yeah.
Not a single person sounded like they would.
It's a Twitch channel.
There
Not
you
a TikTok.
I mean, I'd probably subscribe to either one.
Same.
I honestly don't know
It's
what
gonna be
any
a
of those things
Snapchat,
are.
don't worry.
True stuff.
Premium Snapchat.
Oh, yes.
Could you show Nami-san
Oh, no, I can't. No, I can't. And I can't because I had to cancel my One Piece session day before yesterday because I have an ulcer in the back of my throat right here. So I can't, if I scream, it inflames or pops. I don't know what they do. But it's a big white spot and it hurts. So it's just normal ulcer stuff. It's not like strep throat or anything. It's just It happens from time to time. That's my phone. That's actually my daughter's voice.
Weird.
So-
My watch vibrated right when that happened.
My daughter will find I leave my studio open and leave my rig rolling, and she'll go in there and just start recording herself doing voices. And half the time, it's really good. So I take her little sound bites and I make them all my notifications on my phone. It's fun. All right, yes, sir. Oh,
Question
yeah.
for you. In regards to your role as Connecticon, the crazy scenes, was that enjoyable for you, or was that like?
I mean, sure, yeah. It's weird. And you're getting paid to do something, and you enjoy it. Are you really enjoying it?
Yeah.
Would you do it without the money?
Yeah.
Then yeah. There you go. It was cathartic for sure, and rewarding, and I had a great director, so it wasn't a torture for me to go through it, because we prepared for each moment, and pretty much the majority of the really permanently vocally destructive stuff that we did, we only had to do one take on, which is nice. It sucks when someone makes you do it 5 times. But yeah, enjoyable. Did I enjoy it? Yes. There was a lot of emotions involved in the whole experience, and I'm left with gratitude. I was overcome by everything that the role did to me. I was left battered, bruised, and tired. But I was grateful for what it did to me, but it did leave me wondering if I really wanted it to do that.
Are you having another existential crisis?
Welcome to episode 3 of Austin Tindle, Existential Crisis.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I just do one thing? Hold on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Write this real fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, mother.
This is more than 6 feet. I'm more than 6 feet from you, so hi. Hi, Austin.
Hi.
Hi, Eric.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes, Fauci has a few tips for us. But he's a YouTuber.
Oh god. I love what YouTubers have to say about health.
They're pros and professionals and knowledgeable about anything in the moment. It's really miraculous. So what I came upon when I walked in was hearing about how when you worked on Tokyo Ghoul, you did the crazy, yells or screams just one time, which is awesome. And also, you obviously are no stranger to yells.
Yeah.
Can you think of a time when you had to do what was the number of yells in your head on something that you worked on where you go, okay, I'm logging this because something's wrong right now?
Like when the director is like, scream again, scream again, scream again?
Yeah, where there was one time where you're like, okay, this is going in the dungeon of my brain.
And it was on Fairy Tale.
That wasn't my fault.
And I said the same thing.
I got to about take 13. I'm like, and I remember stopping and saying, I've done this, I've been counting, I think it's about 13 times. And I was like, look, man, if I can't get you what you're looking for in 13 takes, then either I shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing this.
So the studios, when that happens, that's when the studios get really, really small. When it gets awkward like that.
Yep.
Wow. The feeling I have right now in hearing that, because I know all the people involved in that, is like when it's Thanksgiving dinners and Thanksgiving's coming up, and that one relative comes in, and they just have no filter. usually that's reserved for little kids, where you're like, you understand there's no filter, but when it's an adult with no filter, that's when that same feeling happens.
Yeah.
Does it, you know what I'm talking about? That feeling, what do you call that? That awkwardness, you know what I mean?
Trauma.
Yeah. And the room just gets so small. Okay, so, but for you didn't have anything like that on Tokyo Ghoul, where it was like, you did do a lot of screaming, but you didn't have any 13 takers, right?
No, Mike McFarlane was a great director, and he prepared me for what was about to happen. We talked about it beforehand, and we strategically kind of, there might have been one or two instances where, and the thing is, he was very specific, so we would map out that journey. And I mean, if you've seen the end of season 1, you know there's like a lot of specific things that happen to screaming. There's, you know, things going in his ear, him laughing, insanity, him losing his mind, him having pain, and then that like so much pain that it turns you into a white-haired ghoul type of pain.
So it's like listening to Kanye's latest album.
Exactly, yes, 100%.
Which I think is very good, actually. I actually like
100%.
that album. It's a very great album.
So you had to learn the pattern, and then we would do it, and then he took.
It's like music.
He took it.
It's like
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, that most of what happens in the booth is like a studio musician.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very, it is interesting because at the same time with dubbing, that's why it's so funny when you know, the age-old debate of subs versus dubs and things. Both are hard to do. Someone's got to sit there and write out those subtitles. That's hard to do. But with dubbing, we gotta get it in the pocket. We have to not copy what we see, make it our own, still fit it in the flaps, and then all of the nuance in between. And so that's why it makes it fun, even though it is still work. It's fun when it's a show like a Tokyo Ghoul, where there's a lot of cool dark layers that, you know, like a chocolate ganache cake. It's like when you bite into it, you're like, wow, how dark does it get? Ooh, yummy, it gets so dark and I'm still going. You know, and it's delightful, I find. So the people, when you said that if you've seen season 1,
Very ganache.
that's right. I bet there is nobody in this room that has not seen season 1. Is that correct? Because you wouldn't be in a panel specifically for a show if you had not seen season 1.
But how many have seen season 2?
Oh. Now, does this mean the multiverse you have seen it? Or have you seen some of it?
I've seen some of it.
Okay. And you just got light.
No, it's the multiverse.
Okay, it is a multiverse. You're a variant.
I'm a variant. Yeah.
Okay. A variant who is like, screw this, trying to take over the universe and mess it up. Give me that Tokyo Ghoul.
Sometimes variants just don't show to work on time.
Yeah, absolutely. Signing. But so there's for me, because I'm not in, like, you're the guy in that show. So in total there are 3 seasons.
Funimation
made it right? 4.
Technically 4, but the 3rd season is double.
See?
When you say the 3rd season is doubled, what does that mean?
48 episodes instead of 24.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, it's
So
like
it's a duel.
I get what you're saying. So season 3, 2 volumes.
Is it really 24 episodes per season? It seems like a lot. Is it not? Is it?
It's 12.
It's 12.
Yeah.
Now it's 12. Now they've reduced it because our attention spans are that of some small thing that has a small attention span. It's that.
Like a grub worm.
Even grub worms, you've seen them build intricate webs. They have more of an attention span than we do. Good Lord.
Like like a tardigrade.
Yes.
There's those little microscopic bears.
Little bear things, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, and then when well, I can't talk about Hetalia because that's not in the Tokyo Ghoul universe, but if it were, that would be an amazing discovery. Maybe it's a post-credit scene that we don't know about.
We've been talking about Hetalia like half the...
Oh.
Yeah, Hetalia
It's about everything, mostly about Austin having an existential crisis.
Oh, did I miss that part about the crisis?
You've been here the whole time.
I'm the crisis.
Yes.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go.
You are the crisis.
So if you,
I'm the crisis. What do I do to make myself better? Because isn't that how you manifested here?
Blame yourself for everything.
I knew it.
And go out there and look at that beautiful view for 5 minutes. And take 2 and call me in the morning. So if you were to sum up Tokyo Ghoul in one sentence, if someone goes, I've never seen Tokyo Ghoul, well, I'm thinking about watching it, even though there are 30 shows that come out a week now in anime, and it drives me wild, and I can't watch them all. Why should I watch Tokyo Ghoul? What's the one sentence you would say? How would you sum it up? Yes.
College student gets an eating disorder.
It was something we can all, like me, it was potato bread. I had an eating disorder with potato bread. I ate so much potato bread. Okay, that's good. Who else? Yes.
Cannibalism, but with racism.
Cannibalism. Racism.
Cannibal racism.
Yeah, racism.
Can racist?
Yes.
Racism.
Someone else? Yes.
Girl
Well-
really wanting her date to be inside of her goes wrong.
Okay. So I think that would inspire people to watch. So you've got racism, eating disorders, and spiciness. Okay, why wouldn't you watch this show, right? Okay, so then what's Tokyo Ghoul like? If that's your starter, let's say that's your first show you watch, what show would you watch from that? Yes. Which one? Corpse Party?
Yes.
No? Multiverse says no.
Multiverse knows what happens.
Oh, what's that show about?
High schoolers get stuck in an interdimensional school and killed by ghosts.
That doesn't sound so bad.
It gets really bad. Trust me.
We're talking dismemberment?
We're talking like people getting like smashed against the wall and turned into shots.
Oh, like Attack on Titan type stuff.
No, basically.
Yeah.
Would you consider that not as bad as dismemberment?
Yeah, I mean because dismemberment, like you're still alive for it. When you get smushed and turned into flesh jam on a wall, it's like you're dead instantly. And tastes bad probably because you're going to go on a piece of toast or a bagel.
But does that mean less suffering? Through the inevitable doom?
Well, it depends. Answer me this though. You get dismembered, do you get that body part replaced with something mechanical and more efficient and stronger?
Marcus Simic is calling me.
What did I miss?
Names?
Marcus?
He's calling you names?
No, he's calling me on my phone right now.
Okay.
Has he not seen Tokyo Ghoul? And he's like, I heard about the crisis of
He wanted to have an input, but he stopped.
Oh, okay.
He's in it. Somewhere.
See, that's the other thing is with shows, like even though Austin's the lead in the show, he sees his parts. And so he only does his parts in the episodes. So even though he has a wealth of knowledge about the show, he's not going to have as much knowledge as the writer or the director, and sometimes not even the writer, because if the writer's only writing 1 or 2 episodes, it's really the director. And even then, it's like, well, did that director direct the whole series? It's a very multiverse existence.
But sometimes I will go in and I'll just record the lines from the person opposite me, so I have something to play off of. And usually, luckily, they haven't recorded yet. I've laid down some foundation that they can work with, you know. So I like that for them.
But no, this hidden budget existed.
That's right.
To do that.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's a charity, you know.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to do it.
He did, yeah. So, but yeah, so that's why it's, so sometimes I think when you're in panels and you're like, well, what was your favorite line from this arc? It's not necessarily, we don't necessarily know, only because for the reason I just mentioned, but then also, we don't even get to see the script until it's time to record it. So think about that. So with, like on stage, we're with that script for 6 weeks sometimes. In a film, you're with that, well, unless they're rewrites, you're with that script for the duration of the shoot. For this, it's like, you get it, like, for example, when I work on Boruto, so if my session's at 10 a.m., I get the script at 10:01. The director goes, okay, let's start an episode. This was yesterday. Let's start an episode 168, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't have a script. Oh, you don't have a script? That's how haphazard anime dubbing is. So, spoiler, it seems all put together and structured. Hell no. There is so many cracks that things fall through. I don't even understand how it's all held together, really.
I don't either. It's like,
Was I supposed to say that secret?
what?
That it's all just held together by a tenuous house of cards
It's out
made out
there
of
now, man.
rice paper?
It's out there.
Yeah.
Reading about it
Who
right
in the world is a
now.
parent? Who here is a parent? Who has children?
They said, I'm a parent. I'm a parent.
I'm the only parent here. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing. It's kind of like having children. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You're usually covered in some kind of fluid. And you're lucky to make it through the end of a day without screaming.
13 times.
That's anime. 13 times.
But I have a feeling though, because we've done one Tokyo Ghoul panel before. I learned more in this one than that one because now I know what the show as a whole is about.
Crisis.
So that was yeah, that was helpful for me. So yeah, trauma, eating disorders. So thank you for helping me with that. And I think with that. Oh, you're welcome to go. That's it. Is that a Goodfellow shirt? That's the end. Is that a Goodfellow?
What?
The shirt. This shirt? Oh, these are little roller skates. No, but it's the brand Goodfellow. Yes, because my luggage got lost last night, so I had to go get clothes this morning.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You could have borrowed some of mine.
I'm also wearing Goodfellow because I like the brand.
But that's a good eye though. No, yeah, I lost my luggage got
Because I
lost.
saw it when I was buying shirts at Target yesterday.
Yeah, that's the only thing that was open at
Which
10
is also
a.m.
Goodfellow.
I had no clothes with me. They lost my luggage and they go, well, what was in it? And I'm like, well, it starts with an E and ends with everything. And so I went and had to go get clothes and stuff today because yesterday it was a 14-hour travel day. But we made it. Yeah, it was spicy. Yeah. So it was great to get that news that at 11 o'clock at night, that bag's not going to be here. And then they told me today, they're like, it'll be here within 12 hours of now. 12 hours of now. So I may have to go back and get...
I just would have stayed in my room. I wouldn't have even been here.
How do you know I'm not there right now? This isn't a variant.
Or a projection.
Bingo! Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the weekend. Stay away from variants.
Bye, thanks, guys. I'm assuming this is a Marvel thing.
Yeah, Loki. You gotta watch it, man. It's a great show. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm a pretty tough critic on Marvel things, and I have to say that show is pretty good. Owen Wilson's actually pretty great.
I don't.
Wow.
Wow.
It's cool. I mean, there are going to be pitfalls, definitely.
I'm too far out of that world, you know?
You're the guy that doesn't go to Starbucks because everybody goes to Starbucks.
No, I go to Starbucks.
Are you going now?
I'll go to Starbucks.
Like the other day I was at home.
Okay. All right.
The other day I was at home with my daughter, and it was just the two of us, and I thought, all right, well, let's do something for a girl, you know? I like girl-centric things to show her. And I was like, I'll put on Captain Marvel, right? So I put on Captain Marvel, and within 2 minutes, she's left the room. And for an hour, I'm like, this is interesting, but I don't understand anything that's happening.
Yeah, you gotta watch 10 years of movies before.
That's my problem. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, get into watch Loki. I'm like, every time I watch a Marvel thing, I just feel lost, you know? Because I don't have the background. I haven't watched all the other
Well, you
stuff.
know who can help you with that?
Them?
How many people have seen every Marvel movie? I knew it! Once again, I know this crowd. I know you guys.
All right, well,
10%.
next week, everybody come over to my house and y'all can hold my hand.
Give us a synopsis.
Watch What If and not really have any.
Ooh, that's a good. See, I knew you had good ideas.
I don't even know. Is that a TV show too?
What if?
Yeah, Disney Plus.
It's really good. The animation's great. They got really good lighting with the animation. Most of the original voice, or most original live action actors are doing the voiceovers for the show.
Except all the ones we
It's a
Googled.
multiverse version of all the things that already happened.
Except Scarlett Johansson for obvious reasons.
Hey, hey, are you listening? Hey, this is Billy West. I knew you'd recognize my voice, but sometimes you can't because you're watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Now, I would love it, being the professor, if you'd comment, like, and subscribe. You hear that? He knows what he's talking about because he's a smart old bastard. Yeah. All right, now, get with it.